rivals, and in some cases, even family members. Most of these district matchups feature teams that are very familiar with each other, and that was the case with our game of the week between Anderson and Del Valley. Both of these 25 6A teams entered the day undefeated, and throughout the week, it became obvious that each team knew that they would have their hands full tonight.
Last week, I think they ran 54 plays and scored 48 points. That's impressive.
We're facing a really good offense. They're very multiple.
Their offense is high-flying and high-powered, and they're really, really good. It's going to be hard to slow those guys down.
Another strength is our O-line. We have one of the best O-line in the state of Texas, in my opinion.
Last year we won 30-14, I believe, and I think they are wanting their revenge.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be a tough competition. It should be a really good game.
Yep, a really good game that began with a really great moment. Family members of Courtney Walsh, a Cardinals coach who passed away earlier this year, participated in the coin toss. Once the game began, we saw that Anderson offense in action. Colin Page took off for a 20-yard gain, and he got 15 free yards due to that face mask you saw. A few players were pushing and shoving after the play, but cooler heads prevailed. And speaking of prevailing, that Cardinals defense prevailed on this play. Elijah Gonzalez came down with the juggling interception in the corner of the end zone. That could be a Play of the Week nominee. And really, so could this. Jace Wilson hit Caleb Burton perfectly in stride for the 70-yard score. Believe it or not, that was the only touchdown of the first half. In the second half, Anderson battled back, took a 3-point lead. The Cardinals needed this Hail Mary to win. Oh, that was their last chance, and it fell short. Anderson wins this one 20-17. We'll hear from Coach a little later in the show. To Lake Travis, where the Cavaliers hosted Bowie in an early season test for the Bulldogs. Early on, Bowie tried to use some speed to get to the edge of the Lake Travis defense. But turns out they've got speed too. And they also have strength. Check out big Trey Sophia just creating chaos in the backfield. He forced a fumble that Riley Irwin recovered. And when it was time for that Cavaliers offense to take the field, well, they managed to fake everyone out, including our camera guy on this play. UT commit Hudson Card just strolled into the end zone. That gave Lake Travis a 7-zip lead. The Cavs got their second straight win. Final score in this one, oh, they went on to put up a lot, 52-10. To the scoreboard for the first time today, Austin beat Lehman 38-14, and Cedar Park and Central played in a high-scoring game. Final in that one, 41-35. More scores for you coming right here. Maynard on top of Liberty Hill, 33-28 in the fourth quarter. Navarro tops Marble Falls by a final 33-7. Back to the highlights to Gumpton Stadium, where McNeil took on Vista Ridge this evening. The Rangers entered the night averaging about 40 points a game, but it was McNeil who got the ball first, and the Mavericks showed some flashes. Corin Wilson with a nice 15-yard run, but the next 15-yard play we saw was from the Rangers, and it went for 6. The toss from Kyle Brown to Adam Fogg put Vista Ridge on top. Then came one of those plays that you just have to see to believe. The reverse, the toss backwards, and this time it was Fogg up top to Nathan Schaukel. Vista Ridge entered the night averaging about 40 points a game. Well, that average actually went up just a tiny bit. Vista Ridge wins this one 42-14. Elsewhere in District 13 6A, Vandergrift got another win, 28-7. Those 7 points are actually the first 7 that the Vipers defense have given up all season long. United, they traveled down to San Marcos from Waco. They come out with a win, it looks. Actually, that one late in the fourth quarter. They are up, though, by 5, 28-23. More scores for you. Georgetown beats South San 11-8, the final score in that one. Not a score that you see a whole lot, a low-scoring defensive battle, surely. Pflugerville unable to beat Elgin. The final score in that one, 37-28. Guys, we have updated you on 11 games so far, but we have plenty left to show you, as you can see, including trips to Bastrop and Williamson counties, our Band of the Week, and a game that was decided by a 2-point conversion. We have all that and more straight ahead. Kevin, what would be cool, those two games we floated, it was Leander versus Stony Point and Hendrickson versus Westwood. We don't have that video. Welcome back. Guys, it's probably too early in the season to know which team has the best defense in town, but I do know for sure that you can't have that conversation without mentioning Westlake. Entering tonight, the Chaparrals had only given up 7 points all season, and that lone touchdown came to a Cy Ranch team that completed an undefeated regular season just 1 year ago. Tonight, Westlake would line up against another 25-6A team in Aikens. To the second half, where the Chaps game plan reminded me of a 90s TV sitcom. They were taking things step by step. Some of y'all got that joke, and it actually applies here. Westlake was okay with taking 6 yards here, 8 yards there, because they knew at some point, well, they were going to break one. That's exactly what Zach Miners did on this run. A 25-yard score put the Chaps up 51-zip. It's safe to say this was a comfortable win for them. Final score 58-7. To the scoreboard once again, District 12 5A action to catch you up on. LBJ falls to La Vega 21-7. Travis shut out by Salado 50-zip. More scores for you. Dripping Springs put up a whole bunch of points in this one, and they may not be finished. They're up 54-38 in the fourth quarter. Navarro beats Marble Falls. I think we've seen that one before, but just to remind you, 30-7 is the final on that one. Down south in Bastrop, the Bears have opened the season undefeated. They've already picked up a rivalry win, and tonight was their chance to see how the guys from the north side of town play football. The Connolly Cougars made the drive down from Pflugerville to settle this one on the field. This game began with some defense. The screen pass looked nice until the ball just jumped out of that Connolly receiver's hands. Joseph Tuck safely tucked the ball away. About 6 plays later, well, the Bears went for 6. Desmond Young to Nathan Blair, and apparently Nate was moving so fast that he had to dust the flames off of his shoes. But another guy who knows about moving fast towards the end zone is Connolly's Gardner Holmes. He made 2 defenders miss and ran right through another one. The game was tied at 7 then. It's not tied anymore. Bastrop went on to win that one 35-21. 2-0 Eastview took on 0-2 Reagan this evening, and Eastview clearly had the plan, the desire, and the passing game to keep that undefeated record intact. Jacob Martin reached across the goal line for the early score. Reagan fumbled the ensuing kickoff, so that gave Charles Ross a chance to show some concentration with a capital C. Those juggling catches are tough to come down with, but that one was worth it because it led to that. Another Eastview touchdown. The Patriots move on to 3-0. They win this one 61-7. More scores for you. Burnett beating Lockhart 54-31, the final score in that one. And Wimberley marches on. They top Canyon Lake, a final score 45-7. Elsewhere in town, Lampasas 1-point loss. That is as close as it gets. They fall to Lorena 31-30, and Giddings shuts out Taylor 44-0, the final score in that one. All right, a little cross-classification action tonight. 5A Crockett has struggled to score points this season. They were shut out in each of their first 2 games. Tonight, they'd host 3A Manor and try to put some points on the board. Picking things up in the second half, Crockett running back Andrew Jones just picked his way through the middle of the defense for 6. Andrew scored 3 touchdowns on the day. That Crockett defense did their job too. A whole group of Cougars brought down the ball carrier in the backfield. Manor New Tech fought hard, but loses this one 84-6. Let's get some 4A scores now. Looks like Smithfield could not quite hang with Columbus. Smithfield has been putting a lot of points on the board. 14 is their lowest total of the season. They lose this one 33-14. LaGrange is on top of Lavernia right now in the fourth quarter by less than a touchdown, 43-39. More scores coming your way. Brady can't quite hang with Llano. Look at that. Inverse scores there. 24-42, Llano up in the fourth. Gatesville not hanging with Yao either. 68-34 is the final score there. All right, guys, Friday nights are not just about the players on the field. They're also about the cheerleaders, the trainers, and, of course, the band. Every week this season, we showcase a local group as our Friday Football Fever Band of the Week. This week, the group that earned that honor is the band from Vista Ridge. All season long, they have played loud and proud and kept fans on their feet. Let's take a listen to their work. Okay, cool. So at the bottom of the show, you see where it's like that in-show sod or whatever it's called? Welcome back to Friday Football Fever. Earlier tonight, we showed you what happened on the field between Anderson and Del Valle. But those were just the highlights. My friend Emily Giangreco was there for every single play. And now she joins us to tell us the deeper story from tonight's win. Hey, Emily.
Hey, Jeff, yeah, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever witnessed anything like this. And I'm not just talking about the game, I'm talking about the atmosphere. At one point, the student section has a ton of stuff being thrown in the air. Then I look back and the student section is cleared. Then there's a guy riding a moped around the field. I have no idea what I witnessed, but it was amazing, and this is why we have Game of the Week. Now back to the field action. As you guys saw earlier, the first half, not a lot happening. The second half, neck and neck. I mean, when Anderson would score, Del Valle would answer right back. And then it came down to a 42-yard field goal, good with 34 seconds left on the clock to give Anderson that lead and eventually that win. I had a chance to talk with Coach after the game. Here's what he had to say. A game like this, what do you, I know you even got to look back at the scoreboard, although they already turned it off. What do you attribute to your win tonight?
I think preparation is what it boils down to. You know, a lot of people talk about, you know, we wanted it more and things like we didn't want it more. They wanted it just as much as we wanted it. But I do think we were a little more prepared. You know, we practice a lot, and we practice these scenarios every single day. Last 25 minutes of practice is all situational. 5 minutes each time, our 4-minute offense, our hurry-up field goal, our 30-second last prayer. You know, so when we made those adjustments, the kids, they knew what to do, and they did them.
A lot of penalties tonight not in your favor. So what do you tell the kids to make sure that they don't lose hope and that they continue to go out there and give it their best shot?
I think it's a good question. Is at the end of the day, you know, we look at those penalties and we're deciding one of two things. Is it because the kid's playing really, really hard? And if it's because he's playing hard, then we're going to have to be okay with it, as long as it's not a personal foul or cheap or anything like that. But if it's a holding, if it's a high-low where kids are being aggressive and they didn't mean to, things like that, then, you know, it just is what it is. I'm not going to slow them down. On the other end, if it's things that are holding away from sweep the other way, then that's something we got to be smart enough to know that, hey, my guy, as long as my guy doesn't cross my face, he's not going to make the play. Let's not get a needless penalty.
I got to ask, were you holding your breath during that last field goal attempt when you see the game's tied and not much time on the clock?
I mean, it is what it is. We practice it every day. I watched their kicker kick before the game. I thought he was about 50 to 60% from that range, and we didn't rush anybody, and he drilled it, so good on him. Our kicker, I knew our kicker's between 80 and 85% from that range right there, which is pretty good for a high school kicker. So, I mean, it is what it is.
All right, it is what it is. I did ask him about the distractions. He said they didn't really pay attention to them. So Anderson now 3-0 on the season. The Trojans starting district play with a win. And this game just overall by the Cardinals and the Trojans, a great matchup. For now, reporting live at Del Valley, Emily Giangreco. Let's send it back to you in the studio, Jeff.
Thanks, Emily. Well, guys, don't go anywhere. We have plenty more highlights to show you and our Mom of the Week award. And 3 lucky viewers will have a chance at winning this Friday Football Fever t-shirt. Now, before I tell you exactly how to win it, I'm going to ask my friend Jake Garcia to step on here and take a picture of me, Jake.
Good to go.
There we go. So the way that you can win one of these, I'm going to post that picture on my social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I'm going to randomly select one person who comments on those pictures and who is following me on those social media sites. I'll then reach out to you and let you know how to get your shirt. Congrats to Gilberto, Lupe, and Brad, who earned their shirts last week. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Friday Football Fever. It's time for me to bring in my friend Jake Garcia to the show. And Jake, usually on high school football Friday nights, my favorite thing I see are the plays on the field. But this week, something else caught my eye. It was an awesome tribute from a local school directed at their opponents from El Paso. You were there. Tell us what all this is about.
Yeah, Jeff, exactly the case. Just an amazing moment tonight. Del Valle, school from El Paso, in town tonight. And in the wake of the recent mass shooting, Hutto made sure that community knows that we're thinking about them. Before the game, a tribute to the victims, the personally affected, the entire city.
To our friends from El Paso, you may be a long way from us. We are standing right beside you. We want you to know that the Hippo Nation is El Paso strong.
Remember and recover, a beautiful gesture from everyone at Hutto. Now to the action on the field, and not just any action. First play from scrimmage action. Dejon Harrison makes 1, 2, 3, 4 guys miss, and then he just runs past everyone else. 50-plus yards to the promised land. What a start for Hutto. The Hippos look to start the season a perfect 3-0. But a reminder that this game was more about the symbolism than the final outcome. You better believe it meant a lot to senior Gabriel Rodriguez scoring a touchdown here. Conquistadores answer and tie the game up at 7. Hutto prevails in the end, though, 38-14. Over to House Park, where house calls were all the rage in the second quarter between Glenn and McCallum. This is something you don't see very often. Jarvis Henderson, no relation to Ricky Henderson. Those quick reflexes had me maybe thinking it runs in the last name. Glenn Grizzlies go up 14-0. The Knights get the ball and answer with this. That's McCallum, RB, Caleb Brown. My column is, this guy can fly. Nobody going to catch him with that kind of breakaway speed. Knights riding high after beating a 6A school last week. Here, they're on the board. It's 14-7. Back and forth. Glenn with the immediate response. Now, I'll admit I had trouble finding the ball on this one, but when I did, I picked up Jaden Simpson all alone with no one to beat. That would push things back to his 2-score lead for Glenn. The Grizz wouldn't look back. Week 3 winners, 35-14. Now to some scores. Two teams headed in different directions to start the season. Rockdale thumps Lexington. The Tigers stay unbeaten. The Eagles stay winless. Gerald had its hands full with 2A Riesel, but a win is a win is a win. They get it by 3 on the road. Now 3A against 3A Lago Vista over Comfort. The Vikings bounce back from a lopsided loss to Lampasas last week. Holland all over Florence, 59-7. The Hornets proving to be a 2A buzzsaw this year. They're now 3-0. All 3 of their wins, Jeff, have been blowouts this year. Last week's coming against a top 5 team.
Let's keep the scores going then. Leander falls to Stony Point. Oh, that is a big loss there. Stony Point 66, Leander 14. Westwood, school from Round Rock, tops Hendrickson 28-27. That game almost went into overtime. It was actually decided by a 2-point conversion late in the fourth quarter. Now, as much as I love the scores and the highlights, it's no secret that my favorite part of the show is a segment that we're about to enter right now. It's time to announce our Mom of the Week. Every Friday this season, we're honoring a mother with this award as a way of saying thanks for all you do on game day and on the other 350 days of the year. This time, we went to LBJ to hand out our Friday Football Fever Mom of the Week award.
KVUE's Mom of the Week. Just want to let you know how much I appreciate you, and I appreciate how much you do for me.
Thank you. Love you too.
Raina Lewis' son Latrell plays football at LBJ. He's already committed to play college ball at Alabama, and his mom has been there to help him every step of the way. She says she never really expected to be honored as a Mom of the Week because at the end of the day, she believes she's just doing her job like every other mom, even if the Jaguars players believe she is doing much, much more.
Asking him yesterday, he was texting me like, be on time, be on time. I was like, why is he stressing me about being on time? Like, and he wouldn't tell me what was going on, so I had no idea what it was, but this is cool. It makes me feel special. I don't really, expect recognition for it. I'm just, like I said, being a mom, but it's really cool to see that people are watching.
You believe is deserving of the Mom of the Week award? She could be a football mom, a band mom, a cheerleading mom. Let me know about her on Facebook or Twitter at Jeff Jones Sports, or you could always reach out via email by sending a note to jjones@kvue.com. And if you know a student who gets it done on the field or court and in the classroom, he or she could be a great candidate for our Scholar Athlete of the Month award. Our friends at Lorenz & Lorenz are helping us recognize some amazing student athletes with this award and with a $1,000 scholarship. If you'd like to nominate an exceptional student, you can do so at KVUE.com/Scholar Athlete of the Month. We'll be right back after this. And each week, the two of us, along with our photographers, see thousands of high school football plays. It's our job to sift through those plays and pick out 3 as our Save of the Week nominees. We start with a little trickeration. This is the kind of play you draw up at recess. The reverse, the flip back, then the touchdown pass to a wide open receiver. Kyle Brown tossed it to Nathan Scalpcole. He caught it, and I wish I knew who designed that play because that person definitely deserves a shout out too. Vista Ridge had plenty of reasons to cheer on Friday, and this play had to be at the top of the list.
No Deuce Vaughn for number 2 in this edition of Friday Football Fever. But how about 2 sets of hands? Jarvis Henderson's the ones that get the credit. Our video editor's putting in overtime tonight to give us another look. Love how the first guy touches it, knows he kind of messed up, and Henderson, right place, right time.
Last play right here, the very definition of a save of the week. Del Valley's Elijah Gonzalez came down with the juggling one-handed interception in the corner of the end zone. You need to log on to Twitter and check out @JeffJonesSports to vote on which play is your favorite. We'll see you tomorrow.